Welcome back to the RostyMaths channel, and welcome to this brand new video all about solving quadratic equations. I must warn you though, I'm going to show you 4 methods to solve quadratic equations, and I'm going to split those up into 4 separate videos. You're going to see the links to all the other videos down below, plus I'll show it on a card towards the end of this video. For this one, we're going to start with one of the easiest way to solve quadratic equations. Okay, so the first thing I want to mention here is before you solve a quadratic, always make sure that it is equal to 0. That's really important. If it's not equal to 0, make it equal to 0. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to stick with these same 2 questions here. But what if this question was x squared plus 3x, and rather than minus 4, this one was something like, I don't know, negative 5 is equal to negative 1. What if they had that? Well, if they had that, then what you need to do is get rid of this negative 1 by turning it into 0. And to turn it into 0, what we need to do is to add 1 to both sides. And if we then add 1 to both sides, we'll then have x squared add 3x take away 4 is equal to 0, and then we're back to where we are here. So it's really important that before you even start anything, it is equal to 0. And that's because what you're actually trying to find are the roots of the equation. I will talk about that in the next video where we talk about solving it using graphs. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go. You must be good at your times tables and your negative numbers in order to be successful in this particular topic. So if you're not, again, check the links in the description. I've got a couple other videos there with negative numbers and your times tables. You must be good at those before you're able to be successful in this. Let's go. So first of all, what I want, and let me use some technical language first. First of all, I have got in my quadratic here, it's got 3 parts. It has got, or 3 terms. Term 1, term 2, and term 3. It's got 3 terms. Not all quadratics will have 3 terms. Some of them will have 1, some can have 2, and in this case, we have got 3 terms. You know it's a quadratic because the biggest power of x is a 2. That's how we know it's a quadratic. Anyway, this term here is called a constant, and this one is called a coefficient. It's the coefficient of x. And I'm using all this rich language with you because when you see it on an exam question, that's what they're going to say. They're not going to say the number before x. They're not going to say just a random number. They're going to say constant. They're going to say coefficient. Okay, so what I want to do now is find a pair of factors for negative 4 that when added or subtracted, it gives me the coefficient of x, whatever that is. In this case, it is a positive 3. So because I know my times tables and my negative numbers, I know that I'm going to use 4 and negative 1. Let's double check it. Are these factors of negative 4? Yes, because 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Would these give me positive 3? Yes, because 4 take away 1 is 3. And now that I've got those, I am now going to get them into my double brackets. I'm going to use the fast method on this one because I think it's much quicker for the sense of this video. So anyway, what I've now got is my 4 and my negative 1 in my brackets, nice and secure with my x's and so on. If you obviously watch my other video on factorizing quadratic, you know what's just happened there. Now, I have got 2 brackets multiplying by each other. I know they're multiplying because there's nothing between them. So they are definitely multiplying. And it is equal to 0. Well, let's go on a little bit of a thought journey before we carry on. If I have 2 numbers multiplying and the answer is 0, it means that one of these numbers is actually equal to 0. So the only way you're going to get 0 is if one or both of those numbers is 0. So it's the same thing here. I've got 2 brackets multiplying and it's equal to 0. So it means that either x add 4 equals 0 or x subtract 1 is equal to 0. Now I need to find x. So for this one, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And so x is equal to -4. And then on the other one, I will add 1 to both sides because I need to find what x is, and these are the roots. So x is equal to 1. This is now finished. These are my 2 roots of my equation. Make sure you watch my other video though on solving it using a graph. I will use this exact same question to show you we'll get the same answers. Okay, now let's move on to the question below. Now with this question below, you'll notice now that we have a coefficient in front of x squared other than 1. What do we do when we get to a situation like this? Now I'm going to show you a little bit of a longer method. You can use this longer method on the question I've just done, but the trick that I've just done doesn't work here. So I'm going to show you the proper longer method of doing it. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is label my all of my coefficients and constants. So I'll call this A, B, and C. So it means that A is equal to 3. It's the coefficient of x squared. B is equal to -17. And C is equal to 10. Keep this in mind. It's going to come up again when we solve using the quadratic formula. So remember that these numbers are A, B, and C. Remember that. Okay, here we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply A and C. A times C, sorry, gives me 30. 3 times 10 is 30. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did just now. I now want 2 factors of 30 that if added or subtracted will give me -17. And the 2 factors I'm going to use will be -15 and -2. Again, your times tables and your negative numbers need to be on point. Anyway, here we go. So let's just double check that that makes sense. -15 times -2 is +30. That's good. -15 take away 2 is -17. That's good. So those are the 2 numbers that we're going to use. Now, using a bit of a longer method, what I'm going to do, I'm going to rewrite this whole equation now. 3x squared, take away 15x, take away 17, I do beg your pardon, take away 2x plus 10 equals to 0. Did you see what I've just done there? Let me explain it to you if you haven't seen it. So when I found these 2 factors here, I replaced the 17 with those 2 factors. My equation is still the same because 15 take away 2 gives me that 17x back, -17. So I really haven't done much to it. I've just split the 17 because I want 4 terms. Okay, I don't want 3, I want 4 terms. Now we're going to split this straight down the middle here, and we're going to factorize the first 2 terms there. Let's factorize it. What is the common factor? Well, the common factor will be 3x. I then open brackets, and I've now got x take away 5 in there. Now I look at the second 2 terms and look for the common factor. Well, the common factor here is -2. I open brackets, and then I get x take away 5 again. Now, let's pause and say something here. If you factorize the second half and you don't get the same brackets, you get something different, something is wrong. Let me highlight that for you. You must get the same brackets, or the same things in the bracket is what I should say. Must get it. If you don't get it, something's wrong. Go back and check it. Maybe you didn't factorize it right. Anyway, let's finish this off then. So I've got another pair of common factors here. It's x minus 5, or in other words, in layman's terms, you can see that you've got x minus 5 twice. Just write that down. X take away 5, close brackets. And what you've got outside goes in the brackets. 3x take away 2. And then we've got 3x take away 2 equal to 0. Okay, once you get the double brackets, now it's super easy to finish this off. Again, if I'm going too fast, pause the video, go back, play me at a slower rate, and then make some notes. Okay, all right, here we go. So now we're back to this point now where we say either x subtract 5 is equal to 0 or 3x take away 2 is equal to 0. And then what we do is we add 5 to both sides, so x is 5. I probably should put that in because somebody might want to see that. And then on the second one here, we need to add the 2 first, so add 2, add 2. So what that means is 3x is equal to 2. And then we finish off by dividing by 3, dividing by 3. So therefore x is equal to 2/3. And that's it, guys. That is finished. Did you get something from that? If you did, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another upload. Don't forget though, this is a 4-part series and this is only video number 1. To move on to the second video, click that window up here, and or you can click the logo down there to subscribe. I'll see you on the second video.